Hey, welcome to the Live Your Truth channel. I'm Justina Evondra. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I hope everybody had a happy Resurrection Sunday. Okay, I had to make sure I said it properly. Or happy Easter, however you say it. The last time, okay, first let me do this. I need to make a disclaimer. So this is my disclaimer. I'm Justina Evondra. This is the Live Your Truth channel, and on this channel I just be talking about factual things that happen in my life. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody, humiliate anybody, or make anybody look bad, but I have the right to tell my story the way I see fit, and share the events that happen in my life. And if you're a part of that, I will be respectful and not say your name, but hey, this is my story and I can tell it the way I want to. And that's my disclaimer. I was told that when you are telling your events in your life that and so they can include other people, that you have to make a disclaimer. So I've done that. Let's move on. Okay, so last time I was kind of talking to you guys about what happened, like a little bit at the beginning, or what happened when I found out I was pregnant, and then what happened when I found out that he had me and homegirl pregnant at the same time. So I'm gonna kind of like pick up on that, and then just express myself how I see fit. Because if I wonder, or if a conversation topic come to mind, I'm just gonna go with it. But again, click, like, subscribe, tell your friends about this channel, follow me. If you have any suggestions and questions, you can always put them in the comments and I will respond. So here we go. So when I ended off, I was telling you, I found that he had both of us pregnant, and I had told my parents about it, and they were like, they knew that, they weren't surprised, and they were sorry. Okay, and I told you, like, after that, everything kind of changed, like, in my personality. Okay, and so let's start there. So when you are pregnant, your body go, any woman that has ever been pregnant, any man that has ever dealt or been around a woman that's pregnant knows that you go through changes. You go through changes physically, you go through changes mentally, you go through changes emotionally, on top of being a kid. Because the reality of it, regardless of how grown I thought I was a kid. And so being that, when my family found out about it, they were just kind of sad, because they know that they know the reality of life and the struggles that can happen by being a young single parent. And so they had an effect on me, like our interactions and our relationships on time. And then like finding out he had somebody else pregnant at the same time, they had an effect on me. Not necessarily because how can I say this? Well, I'm gonna say it like this. It had an effect on me because, not necessarily because I was just like super in love, but because I trusted him. And with trust, I don't know, for me, trust and respect goes hand in hand. So if I trust you, I respect you. If I respect you, I trust you. And then at that moment, I lost all trust in him. I lost all respect for him. And then just out here, I felt embarrassed, like I felt embarrassed, I felt humiliated, and I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of held myself on this pedestal. And, in some instances, if I'm gonna be truthful, living the truth, I kind of feel like I was better than some stuff. Like, oh, that would never happen to me. I would never let anything happen to me. I'm better than that. That's for this type of person or this type of women, so and so, so and so. So it was just all like a reality check and a slap in the face. And so I was going through so many different emotions and so many different feelings. And the fact is that, when I went off to college, me and him were cool, but like, I didn't intend for this to be like, a long-term relationship. I actually was liking and crushing on somebody that I knew from school, and they were a little older than me, and they had already went off to college, and we was keeping in contact with each other. And so when they come in town, we would, hang out. So I said all this to say, like, when me and my child's father relationship started, it was just a friendship, and we were just hanging out and hanging around into each other. And one thing led to another, and bam, here we go, having a child. And so, but after, you know, when that reality came, I feel like, oh, okay, well, he a nice guy, you know, everything gonna be cool, you know, he's gonna do what he can do, you know, at their age and at their responsibility, so it can be fine. So just when the reality starts slapping me in the face and like all these things start coming into play, like I was like mentally in a bad place, like no other way to describe it. And I was like emotionally just tore down. And like at the same time, I was angry and just confused, because I'm like, why you play me like this? Angry and confused, and then like the things that kept happening, it kept just building up and just making, you know, the situation so much worse. Okay, so after we had that initial conversation, he was crying on the phone, and then I found out what's happening. Then I, you know, like was upset about it. I didn't speak to him. I refused to speak to him. I had like got my cell phone, and this is just like my immaturity. I got my cell phone and I changed my voicemail. And my voicemail was like saying his name and just saying what happened and just saying how like he was low down and I never wanted to talk to him ever again. And at that time, like, that's how angry I was. I didn't care. And like random people would be calling my phone. Like, it'll be somebody like from the financial aid office. They'll be like, you know, calling me to leave a message to tell me they need me to come to the financial aid office. And they would just hear this angry message of me just hollering and screaming and just going off. So like I refused to talk to him. I just needed some time to cool off. And so like after I kind of cooled off and we had a conversation, and this was our conversation, he was like, he's sorry that it happened, and that he didn't have any intention on this happening, and that she seduced him. And this is what he told me. She seduced him. He said that she knew that we were together and that we were happy together, and that she called him over one night, wanting to talk, I guess, you know, just needing closure or whatever. And when she called him over there one night, she seduced him and did things to him. And then before, you know, he knew it, they were in the bed together, and he had no intentions of sleeping with her or getting her pregnant. And so he just wanted to apologize, and he just wanted to let me know that he wanted to be with me and would I give him another chance. So, you know, at that point, I didn't really want to hear that. All I wanted to talk about is, like, I'm pregnant, you know, like, what you finna do? Like, what's up? And so, because before everything hit the fan, I really wasn't going, like, I went to get the prenatal vitamins, but I wasn't going to the doctor for prenatal care. And so then after my parents found that, and I went back to school, and I came back a couple of weeks later, it was my first, you know, like official prenatal, you know, care appointment. And so I used my parents' insurance, and I think I went like 2 more times, and I used my parents' insurance. And then my parents got a letter in the mail saying, like, I'm on their insurance, and as a college student, I can be on their insurance to a certain age, but because I'm pregnant, like, I can't be a dependent on their insurance claiming dependent, if that makes sense. So, they dropped me from my parents' insurance. And for me to continue to go to the doctor, I needed some insurance. So I had a conversation with him, and I was like, well, I need to go to the doctor. And so we made an agreement that he would pay half of the visit, and I would pay half of the visit. And so he was like, okay, fine. Like, in the arm, I guess they would start getting checks. And he would, you know, write a letter, and he would put the money in the envelope. Okay, so the first visit that we had like that, he actually did. He sent the money. He sent $250. And so I went to the doctor. Okay. And so that was our interaction. And so at that time, I was like, okay, well, even though I don't respect him or I don't trust him, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he may, you know, do 100% right about this situation. And so, the next time I was about to go to the doctor. He said he wasn't going to send the money directly to me. He said he was going to send it to his mom, because at this time, he was letting his mama handle his financial affairs, however that came to play. He was going to send the money directly to my mama, to his mama. And then it'll be in the mailbox. Him and his mama had a conversation, and on my way to the doctor, I was coming home from school and was about to go to the doctor. On the way to the doctor, stop at my mama house to get the money. She'll leave it in the mailbox before she go to work. Get the money, and you can go to the doctor. I said, okay, cool. Which I feel like, well, why you ain't gonna send it directly to me? But you know, whatever, because he had a car and other things. I guess he was like helping his mom with the bills and sending her money so she could pay his car note and all that kind of stuff. So came home on a Friday after my class, goes whatever, check the mailbox, the money wasn't there. Call his mama, no answer. Finally get in contact with him. He was like, hold up, let me check with his mama. So after that point, when his mama started handling the money, like the financial part of stuff he said he wouldn't do, it wouldn't happen. And she was handling like all his finances and supposed to be paying his car note or whatever. But when he came back from the army, his car was repossessed. So I'm just gonna leave it right there and y'all get the point. So she didn't put the money in the mailbox. So I called and I'm like, what's up? I'm here, for the weekend before I go back to school. I got to go to the doctor. We had this agreement. So she wouldn't answer the phone. So she was giving me the runaround. So this when it started getting heated between our parents. So my mom was like, okay. My mom was like, okay, well, we kind of sit back and try, to let you handle this. But if we can hold up on our part and, pay what we need to pay, then we expect them to, do what they said they're going to do. So my mama called, she wouldn't answer the phone. So my mama left her a voicemail. And it wasn't a nasty voicemail at all. It was just like, this is what your son said. We here and we need to, she need to be seeing this doctor before she leaves, so-and-so. Well, she never answered the phone when my mama called, so we kind of back off. So we sitting at home and we were talking and the phone rang and the phone was ringing, and then our voicemail picked up. And so after the voicemail picked up, it was his mama, and his mama was on the voicemail going off, and she was like, first of all, basically, I'm just paraphrasing, don't be calling my phone. I didn't lay down and open my legs, and this don't have nothing to do with me, so-and-so, so-and-so. So in the middle of her saying that, my mama runs and grabs the phone, and they're on the phone, and they're going back and forth. And my mama like, you know what? She was like, my mama was upset about that conversation. And she was just like, yeah, but these are kids. Did you know our kids? And they whatever, we supposed to be whatever. So it turned that point so nasty. So they got into a heated conversation. And so I'm holding my hand up like this is a phone. So they got into a heated conversation. So I could hear in the house, like everybody in the house could hear through the answering service, them going back and forth and arguing. So hung up and got off the phone. And so like our whole conversation at that time, like my mama just like, don't worry about it. I'm not even finna be going through this. But like the conversation at that time it kind of like messed us up, because she was like, shoot, I ain't the one that opened up my legs. And we was kind of like, you got 3 kids by 3 different men. All of them got different daddies. And like at that time in the 12th grade, when I said his mama was pregnant, she was like 40, 45. And then it was just like a lot of stuff going on. And like she had the child father like when she was young. So I know her family helped her. So it was just like a big turnout. It was just like real nasty. Instead of her, in my opinion, get on the phone and say like, I know Xavier might have said that, whatever, but I needed that money for something else. I use that money, or just, being truthful, legit, or just say like, Xavier told me not to give him, money, or I'm not gonna do. Just say what you gonna do. Like all that could have been avoided. So they got into a big heated argument. So from that point on, I had one more interaction with him, and we was talking about what happened, and he apologized, and he said he didn't know what happened, and he was just like, we need to work this situation out. And then I told him, I said, in order for us to be able to continue to, move on, it needs to be peace. So me, you, all of us, we need to kind of sit down, even your other child, and sit down and have a conversation and see how, you know, this gone, you know, how we gonna move forward. He refused to do that. He said, you know, he didn't feel like all that was necessary. So from that point on, we didn't have contact with each other at all. So all the stuff that was bought for Caitlyn, it was a baby, preparing for a baby. Like, he didn't buy anything. His family didn't buy anything. It was all my family. Yeah, that's just what it was. It was all my family. So, at that point, like, my anger intensified. And, like, I went from, like, just disliking him to on the border. What's the word right before you get to the point? Because I don't hate. That's a strong word. I don't think, you know, like, I don't even process that kind of dislike for anybody. I don't even let myself go there. But I was right at that point before you get there. So, like, at that point, I became extra, like, because I was angry, and then I was, like, mad about how everything was going down in my life, and how I feel like everything was changing, and then how you didn't tell me all these lies. And so I'm just like I'm just a nasty person at this point. So, like, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with my life at this point. I'm not happy about nothing that's going on. I'm not, you know, just like, okay, just a real mean and ugly person to be around. So I thank God for the friends that I had when I was in school that just made sure that I ate and just looked over my meanness and my behavior in my family, because they had to deal with the majority of my ugliness, because he wasn't around, we didn't speak, so I can communicate this to him. Okay, so fast forward, the months go on, getting ready for the baby, and like the upset feelings that my family they was wearing out. So, like, now we just, like, we excited, you know, generally happy, and like my mama said, you know, the sin, this is my mom had a conversation. The sin is what I'm upset about. You're having sex before you got married, but the baby is a blessing. And God, you know, love babies, and the baby's a blessing. And, you know, so at this point, we're getting excited. They're buying stuff. We're preparing for the baby. Woo-de-woo. Okay. So, Xavier gets out the arm. I didn't mean to say anybody's name, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to see if I can go back and edit it. If not, let's just keep it moving. He gets out the army. Oops, my bad. And he comes home. And so I think we were on a break. We were on Christmas break, December, and he comes home. So, like, some of the friends or some of the people I still associated with from high school, they, you know, they call me and like, we seen your, you know, so-and-so in town, so-and-so, had you talked to him? And I'm like, no. So I'm having a conversation with my parents, and I'm like, I didn't heard so-and-so in town, so-and-so. So my dad like, oh, okay, so this nigga back in town? I'm just saying how, you know. And I was like, well, that's her. And then we like, oh, okay. So my dad was like, I'm finna go have a man-to-man conversation with him. And so, he was like, when I'm gonna have a man-to-man conversation with him. So they was like, let's go. So we get up, we go in the car, and I'm sitting in the back seat, whatever. So, like I said earlier, they live like less than a block, and they live close to us. So we get in the car, we pull up. So we all get out the car, and then my daddy looked at me. He said, "No, you know, you close to having the baby. I don't want you to be stressed up. You stay in the car. We'll go in the house." So they knocked on the door, and they went in the house. Y'all, so I'm sitting in the car, and I'm on my phone, and I'm just waiting for him to come. And I'm thinking, like, it's going to be a pleasant conversation. Next thing I know, my daddy is pulling my mama around, I think, her waist, her neck, something, at this woman's house. And my mama screamed to the top of the lug, jumping, and talking about how she'll beat this woman down, so-and-so, so-and-so. And his mama hollering, yeah, so-and-so, with your fat so-and-so, so-and-so, and this, the so-and-so. And the sister got like, the fireplace metal thing, trying to hit my mama with it. And then the little baby, because he had a little brother that was like 3, 2 or 3, had a hanger. And like they're like running out, and my mama like trying to get at the woman, and she's like, I'm finna call the police, and I'm finna call the sheriff, and like my daddy in between trying to stop it. So if he was at the house, he never came out the room. So that probably was for his benefit, because my daddy don't play about his girls. It's me, my sister, Katie, and my mama. And look, if you want to see my daddy get angry, get on level 10, mess with one of us. So for his benefit, it probably was great that he was hiding in the house or wasn't there. Who knows? But anyway, they got into it, heated, whatever. So I'm like in the back seat, and I'm looking out the window about to get out the car, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on? My mama, because my mama usually don't get upset or angry like that, to the point where not with, other people. She like really, has some self-control. So I'm like, oh Lord, his mama just said something. My mama trying to put her hands on this woman, like, oh Lord. So I'm like, oh Lord, like I'm starting to stress. I'm like, this woman finna call the police. My mama finna go to jail. Like, what has happened? So my daddy pulled her to the car. She get in the car. So then my mama look at my daddy, and my mama going off. How you gonna be pulling me back? How you gonna be holding me back? And my daddy was like, I ain't want you to go to jail. I'm just trying to defuse the situation. It got a little heated. So I'm sitting in the back seat like, what's going on? So then they proceed to tell me the story, that just how insulting his mama was, and how like they just came over there to have an adult conversation. And like she just got real insulting and real nasty, and which they wasn't there for all that. And it just escalated. So at that point, my mama had already made up her mind. She was like, you know what? She was like, this is the second time, I done tried to deal with this woman on an adult level, and it has turned out like this. She was like, I got too much to lose in life for some low class woman. I'm just not finna do it no more. And she said, I'm just not gonna do it anymore. I don't want that woman in my space. I'm done with it. And so like after that, it was nothing. It was no communication. It was nothing at all. And she must really have. My mom wouldn't tell me just exactly everything she said. She told me a few things that she said, and I care not to repeat. But you're like, she really had, pressed my mama buttons, because my mom ain't too quick to jump up. Like, classy lady, that's my mom. She's not too quick to jump up and be ready to bust somebody in the head. So for her to be ready to go there, it had got heated. So got past that, and this was the end of that. So didn't talk to her anymore. And I'm sure like once he talked to his mom or whatever, like he never called my dad up and be like, well, what was going on or what happened? It just wasn't anything. But I did get a random phone call. I had Caitlin. And so she was born in January. So this happened in December. This happened in January. So like I hadn't talked to him since, because I found out that the other person was pregnant when I was 5 months. And then we had all that stuff in the doctor's appointment transfer. So I hadn't talked to him, seen him since I was 6 months. So that's like, 4 months, 4.5 months I hadn't seen. I hadn't talked to him. So he calls me up one day, and he's heard that I've had the baby, because I put a picture of her on Facebook, just welcome, just, oh, this is my baby, welcome to my baby to the world, whatever. Okay, so he calls me, and he said he heard that I have had the baby, and he wants to come see the baby. And so even then, because I've always tried to put my child, I've always tried when it came to him to put, you know, my child's needs and feelings, and I feel like I have in front of anything that's going on. I talked to my parents about it, and they were like, cool. So Caitlin was 2 weeks old. He shows up at our door. Knock, knock, knock. Okay. He show up at our door. He show up with her baby too. So he just didn't come by himself to see the child we created. He had the other baby with him. So he comes in the house and like he's looking at her, and he makes a comment about, because when Caitlin was a baby, she was very like fair skinned and light skinned, and she looked like a little Mexican to me. And he makes a comment about how fair skinned she was, because his other child, which was a boy, was, you know, dark skinned. And he makes a comment about how small she was, because she was like a real, you know, real skinny, healthy, 6 pounds, like 21 ounces, or 7 pounds, something like that. I can't remember. But she was real healthy, but she was a small baby compared to his son, who was kind of more of a juicier baby. But he was like a week or two older than Caitlin. And so he just makes some comparison or whatever. So then we sit in the room because having a conversation, and he says, you know, I brought my son with me because, you know, I made a mistake, Justina, and, you know, I still want to be with you, and I know everything got out of hand, but, you know, I want to work it out, and I just brought him with you because I wanted to know if you like put, you know, both of them together. I want to know if you could see yourself like, you know, us as a family. Okay. And so then he proceeds to go on and say how the other person was a bad mother, and he was gonna try to get custody of a child. So I say all this to say that when y'all women, men, whoever in these relationships, and it's all that back and forth, a person will say anything to make that other person look bad, to make you believe, to make stuff seem more believable, to get you to believe. Because when he came to my house, he said she was a bad mother, she didn't know what she was doing. He was talking about how she got his baby over there living in Orange Mound with her grandma, just saying all kind of nasty stuff about the girl. And at that point, I really didn't even respect him even more, because I'm just like, instead of, you know, owning this situation, you still trying to make somebody look bad. First she seduced you, now she a bad mother, and you want to see if we can get together. Like, really, like, grow up. So he went through that whole spiel. You know, after he got through, I was just like, you know, So, you know, before he left, now, granted, the whole time, other than the $250 I got the first doctor's appointment, the whole time that I was pregnant and just buying stuff and getting stuff together for Caitlin, he didn't contribute. So before he left, once I said, no, you know, I'm not interested in that, but I am interested in all of us kind of like sitting down and having a conversation and clearing the air so we can move forward. He didn't want to hear that. So he getting ready to go. He reaches in his pocket and he counts out. Now he reaches in his pocket. He had like, I guess, $500 in his pocket, because at that time when he got back, he was like trying to be a drug dealer, a mini drug dealer or whatnot. Because when he got back from the army, he got a new car and, you know, was out here trying to, I guess, be a baby drug dealer. So he pulls like $500 out his pocket. And so he counts the money in front of me, so I'm looking. So then he counts out 100 and throws it on the bed, and then walks out and leaves. So he left. My family came in. We sitting there having talking. I picked up the $100, and we were just laughing about it, because I was like, after all this time, you know, you gonna try to count out $500 but throw $100. I took that $100 and I went and got a weave, if I can tell the truth. At that time, a quick weave or a weave, at that time you can get a good quick weave or a weave for $100. So that's what I did with that money, because at that point she had everything that she needed. All of her Pampers and stuff had been bought up, and milk and all that kind of stuff. So it was just like, okay, well, let me get this $100, and I went and got me a weave. It was like, and plus to me it was insulting. Like, you gone for all these months, but then you come in, you bring somebody else's baby to my house, talking about, can we be a family? Then you get mad because I ain't want to hear that. Then you throw me $100 on the bed after you didn't count that $500 in my face. Like, I'm supposed to say, ooh, $500. Really? And after that, so then this is when the back and forth stuff started. Okay, so this is the last thing, and I'm gonna continue on the next story. So he left. So after that, like, when all that happened, like, after I had Caitlin, I had postpartum depression, and I don't think I ever have verbally said that out loud. I don't think anybody ever knew. And I didn't have it like because to want to harm my child, because like I was very loving to her. I just like the circumstances and everything. I was kind of depressed, and if I had thoughts of harming anybody, it was towards my child's father. It wasn't like, you know, I know it's like different forms, postpartum depression, baby blues, and stuff like that. So my parents were like, they knew that I was going through that, and they knew that you know, I was having a hard time. So they were constantly trying to like force me to get out. Justina, you need to get up. You need to get back out. You know, get out to the world. You know, you ain't did nothing that nobody else ain't did. It's gonna be okay. So like the first like official place, because at this point I transferred to the University of Memphis. So I had my baby on January the 14th, and that Monday classes started, and I actually went to classes still bloated, looking pregnant, having stitches, walking like this. I went to class, and like I didn't want to go to class, but my parents like were forcing me, like, no, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. At this day, like, we had a conversation about it, and they were like, because I was depressed and I had so many emotions going on, they didn't think it would be for me to be healthy just to sit around. So they kind of just tried to, you know, encourage me and push me out there so I can just kind of move forward and keep on going with my life. So I'm going to University of Memphis now, which they did offer me, because my parents were like, we'll raise Caitlin, you go back to Mississippi State. But I just had to, you know, that was my baby and that was my responsibility, and I just didn't feel like that was the right thing to do. So I got together with my friends, told them I love them, we still was gonna be friends, but I wasn't coming back. And so then I transferred to UM, and had my baby. Then the next day classes started, go hair classes. So it was our high school, one of our high school basketball homecomings or whatever. And so my parents really pushed me to go with a girl that I still talk to. So I got dressed and I went. And so by the time I made it, it was kind of towards the end. And like I walk in the game, and like I'm feeling like insecure, and I'm feeling like self-conscious, because some of these people I haven't seen since, you know, before we graduated, and since they heard, you know, all the rumors of everything that's going down. And then one person, like the guy, like I kind of like was really crushing on, and I wanted it to be something with, he was there too. And so I guess you know what, I'm probably gonna go in the next video tell that story of how like all this connects. And so I'm like on the side. I really didn't walk in. I was like standing on the side of the bleachers, and so like the game ended and people started walking out. So then people started coming up to me, and they were like, "Oh, your baby is so cute. She is just like so cute." And like, even though I had put like a picture of her on Facebook, like some of these people I wasn't friends with on Facebook. So I'm like, how you see my baby? And they was like, so-and-so showed us. So I looked over, and he in the stands. I mean, he just came back. He just lived his life like nothing happened. And I said, what? So he came down the steps, y'all, and ooh, I had so much dislike in me for that individual. He came down the steps, and so I took my fist, and I did it like I was real playful, but I punched him in his shoulder. I was like, wham. I was like, and he was like, you know, we was trying to, you know, people were looking, so we was trying to act casual. I was like, what is this picture that people talking about you showing them? So he opened that little flip phone, because flip phones were still popular then, and he showed me a picture. So apparently while he was there to visit, the time he, you know, the little time he came, threw $100 on the bed, I guess when I turned my back, he stood over there and took a picture. And he out here, and this is what upsets me. You know you ain't did nothing. You ain't bought nothing. You ain't contribute nothing. But you go somewhere and you out here opening up your flip phone, showing pictures of the baby like you just daddy of the year. And that, you know, that's really what bothers me with this whole co-parenting equation that we have. But I'm gonna stop right here for today. Thank y'all for checking my video out. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like my page, subscribe, tell your friends about me, and just tune in. Have a great day.